lizard.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, we have a lot to talk about tonight. You may have noticed that the banned and restricted announcement dropped last night. I think it dropped around like 12:30 last night is what I saw. I had been asleep for a little bit. I think I went to sleep somewhere around 11:30 last night, but I woke up to seeing that it was already released, and I was like, yo, what? They released it early, which, I mean, like, is fine. Like, it's on the day they said they were going to release it. It just earlier than I thought, which I was kind of surprised to see. I'm normally used to LSS like dropping it around like 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern time so that I'm catching it right before I stream. And it's interesting because most of the time I wait to read it live when I see you guys. I want to share my genuine reaction with you all about the BNR as I'm reading it. I was going to do that tonight. I was going to dodge the banned and restricted announcement until the stream started. When I told Taylor I was going to do this, Taylor told me that I needed to read the banned and restricted announcement and I needed to be prepared to talk about it tonight because of some of the wording and how they approach things. Now, I will say, Taylor is naturally a little bit more pessimistic than I am. But there are some things in the article that strike me as odd. Some of the wording and like some of the things that they mentioned almost feel like unnecessary. So I don't know. We're going to talk about it tonight. There's also a couple of things they didn't mention in the banned and restricted announcement that I'm pretty surprised to hear, if I'm being honest. Like, I was kind of expecting them to mention a couple of things that just aren't talked about. Now, with all that in mind, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible about the things that I'm going to talk about tonight. And I'm going to talk about what I think the banned and restricted announcement means for you, for your nationals, for your events coming up, because US Nationals is like 2 weekends from now. Like, it's 2 weeks away. And like, I don't know. Everybody else has their nationals after the US, but like the banned and restricted announcement does mean like there are things to take away from the banned and restricted announcement. So I don't know. We're going to talk about it. Another thing I want to talk about is LSS a few minutes ago just dropped, the Dev Talk, their newest Dev Talk. And I am so glad they did. I love when LSS drops Dev Talks. I wish they would do it more often. And I understand. They're trying to run a business. They don't always have time to get in front of the camera. They don't always have time to just, sit and ramble about things like a lot of us content creators do. But I really wish they would do more Dev Talks because they are so beneficial to the community. We as a community love hearing the dev team talk. We love knowing Brian and James' thoughts. And when they share with us, it's awesome. And I wish they would do it more. So that's my one critique about dev talks, is that there's not enough of them, which is kind of a weird thing to say. But I hope you guys get what I'm saying. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with that. I did not realize that was going to turn into a short moment, but now that I'm here and I see that it has turned into a short moment, I'm going to grab that timestamp. Donnie, Copper, Cree, Tom, Matt, Martin, Dave, Trent, Kidder, Fish, Copper, Ravenous Rabble. I think it said Matt already. If not Matt, Hob, Michael, Colin, Liam. We hit everybody. I think we hit everybody. I think I did. If I didn't, I apologize. Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming by tonight. Glad you guys are here to chill and hang out with us and talk about the banned and restricted announcement. And if we get finished with the BNR and we have enough time, we may draft afterwards. It just depends on how long we sit and talk about the BNR. Martin with the 19 months of Prime support. Yo, Martin, thanks, dog. I appreciate that. Means a lot, brother. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Ooh, side note. I don't stream very often on the weekends, but I have a surprise stream coming for you guys this weekend, which I'm pretty excited about. If you guys know Spencer, aka Boosting Spin Dog, I've been trying to work out a time with him to get him on the stream, and we're like 14 hours apart, so the time difference is quite a gap there. But I am very excited that we are going to have him on, and we're going to be able to stream this week, and we're going to play some Tough Nut. Tough Nut! Have some Tough Nut gamers. Have some Tough Nut gaming. Hey, Zarako, what's up, dude? So they nuked Reaping Blade, so people who bought the special edition in the Light and Shadow are shafted? I mean, it's one of the things about cards getting banned, right? Is like, that is one of the issues with like a quote unquote live service card game, which is something they've mentioned before, is that it does kind of at times nuke collections and fancy versions of things, which is kind of like tough. It's a hard pill to swallow. Yo, what's up, Cyborg? How does Briar live? That's a great question. I kind of thought Briar was going to be on the list. Briar was the hero that I was hearing everybody was going to vote for. Like, I thought everybody was going to vote for Briar because Burn Up and Shock was getting unbanned and Lightning Press was getting unbanned. We are going to talk about the BNR and how people voted. Yo, what's up, Kasu? Spin Dog is my dude. Got me in the Tough Nut. Oh, dude, Spencer's awesome. I love him. Hoping they go well. Yo, Colin, you got some job interviews lined up, bro? Hope they go well, brother. My Light and Shadow Reaping Blade can now stay near mint forever. Oh, did your pre-release get delayed? Lots of distributor problems out this way. There is nothing delaying our pre-release that I have heard. I have not heard anything. So, I mean, we'll take that for what it's worth. But how much the average player interacts with the game? I mean, I guess I could see that, Bavin. Like, maybe people think... I mean, the game is designed... Like, and they talked about this in the dev talk from this afternoon. The game is designed to be for the gameplay, the competitive side of things. So it's like, that's how they base it and design it around. So I think that we all assume that because they tell us that's how they're designing the game, which I think is like, I don't think it's completely unfair. I also voted for Kano, Josh. Every road is indeed has its thorn. Also, the king is back, which James White keeps saying in the interview. I'm very shocked at how many votes Kano got, and LSS hinting at double benching him was also very surprising. Guess people just hate him. I mean, I think a lot of people realize that like Blaze is the more fair version of what Kano should have been. Yeah. They said about 10K people voted. I must have missed that number during the dev talk because I listened to it right before the stream. I listened to it at 1.5 times speed so I could finish it. But I did get to listen to it before I went live. I want to go on record, importantly, that Rose has admitted in writing that Betsy might be good in the meta. Are we supposed to point and laugh now? Yes, Foxy, point and laugh at Rose. Everybody laugh at Rose. Absolutely.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Everybody point and laugh at Rose. I mean, I think Betsy's actually okay in the meta. Like, it kind of like... Are we going to watch the dev talk? I had not planned on watching the dev talk. I watched the dev talk right before the stream. I had not planned on watching it. I mean, we could turn it on if you guys wanted to. I feel like... So I'm gonna share a personal bit with you guys that I haven't really talked about. I feel like LSS does not like that I watch their videos live on my channel, like for you all to watch them with me. I could be wrong. I kind of get the vibe that they don't want me doing that. No one has reached out to me. No one has said anything to me. But like we have watched like the premiere videos of like the Sage decks and the Armory decks and stuff that they post, and they keep moving the times. I don't know if it's coincidence or something, but it seems like they're moving the times to where it's more and more inconvenient for me. I could be reading into it too much. I don't know. So I'm a little on the cautious side about like watching videos live and stuff now. But if somebody from LSS watches this and you all don't like it, please reach out to me. I'd like to talk about it and figure out like what we can do. It's probably just a coincidence, Liam. I'm always like moderately worried that LSS is like going to hate me. I don't know why. It's like this like constant fear that I live in. I mean, Fish, I don't think they're doing it on purpose. Like, yeah, like Peppo said, I'm tripping. Like, I more than likely, I am just way overthinking it. And that's okay.
Lizard.
That's what's going on in my brain most of the day. So, like, yeah. Like, maybe I won't read into it too much. Liam, I don't know if they would tell me directly, though. Like, I would like to imagine that LSS would tell me directly, that somebody would reach out to me, but I don't know if they would. Sometimes. Hated you? Would you rather Super Slam boxing ring with James White or Brian? Ooh. Okay, so if LSS hated me, would I rather get into a boxing ring, Super Slam style, with James White, or Brian Gottlieb? That's tough. You know what? I'm going to put it like this. I would rather get to box with Brian Gottlieb, because then I would be forced into a situation to where I would not feel nervous to talk to him at an event and tell him that like I just really like watching like I've always like followed his career and liked Brian Gottlieb. It's one of the like funny facts about me. Every event I've ever been at that Brian Gottlieb has been at, I've wanted to talk to him or say hi to him. But every time I see him, I like get nervous, like, which is like, I feel like kind of weird. Like he would probably be super nice to me. I have no idea. I've never met him, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, what's up, Jay? How are you? I mean, it's true. I did win one of the LSS grants. It's probably pretty hard for them to say they hate me. Like that would be a pretty weird line in the sand. I do agree. Okay, so we talked about the dev talk a little bit, and that I'm glad that they dropped the dev talk. Like I am. I love when they do dev talks. Like my one critique of dev talks is please do more of them. I would love to see more of them. That's just like, that's my one thing. And it's like, I guess not even really like a critique. I just want more dev talks. Stop being fragile and talk to the man. Tell him from me he's got to stop loving assassins so much. Sage predictions? Let's talk about the BNR first. I'm going to share all of this as we go through the night with my thoughts, but let's just say that even the critiques that I have about the banned and restricted announcement and some of the things that I don't like about it, I'm still going to frame in a way that I feel like is constructive, because I don't want the player base's relationship with LSS to be LSS does something and we're like, nee. And I get it. Like when it comes to omens and some of the things in the podcast, I have been a little bit that way lately. And honestly, like I've been pretty disappointed with omens. Like, I mean, I'm just going to say that. Like, it's been fun to work through the Aurora puzzle, but from a competitive standpoint, I've been pretty disappointed. I've been pretty underwhelmed so far. So I'm going to frame the things that we're going to talk about tonight in a way that tries to provide constructive criticism for LSS and not just me being like, man, you suck, because I don't think that's going to help. It's not going to make me feel any better. It's not going to help them if they do care about what I have to say, which I understand. I'm just a random person. Like, I'm not my opinion doesn't mean any more than or less than anybody else's. But being a voice of the community, I would like to frame the way that I think about, like, I would like to frame the way that I think about things in a positive way, so that they understand that, like, it's constructive criticism. Did I see the question posed in the members chat? Yeah, Trent, I did see that. I haven't watched it, but I imagine the discussion would be interesting to cover. I mean, yeah, it was a really interesting dev talk to talk about. Yo, Rose, let's go. $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Outside of this too, I want my money back. What are you talking about, Rose? What are you talking about? Whenever you're around Brian, I didn't say fragile. Yeah, I just assumed you spelled it wrong, but I'll have to look it up after this and see what it is. See what it actually is. Zuri would actually be a good hero again. I love that Colin is just like constantly salty that Azuri like does not get the help that she needs a lot of times. So anyway, without further ado, let's jump in. Let's talk about the B&R. Ooh, the clean 20-minute transition. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. All right, so I have read this article 2 times today, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it. What we're going to do is we're going to go through it. I'm going to read all of it because you may watch this and you may not have seen it. You may not understand what pieces I'm talking about. I am going to go through the whole thing, read all of it, and then I am going to go back and cover the pieces that I do and don't like and things that I wish they would have done. But the first and most important part about this is that I'm just going to read the whole thing. I know what you know, Mr. Content Man. I mean, Rose, again, thank you for the $2, but I don't know. Rose, if you're actually upset, shoot me a DM because I have no idea what's going on. My complaint with the dev talk is they didn't really touch on the design process for Omens. It was really vague and just that we wanted another arcane set. Nothing about power level or bans. I mean, didn't they talk about, like, as far as, like, I don't really want to know, like, I want to say power levels, but didn't they talk about, like, hero win percentage and how, like, how they were, like, sitting at, like, that, like, 50, 49, 49% win rate that they wanted, and that felt like that make them good? Are you a birthday dinner? Nats, right? We're going to that steakhouse at Nats, right? I was telling Carly about it the other day. I was telling her that we were going to go and, like, everybody was going to hang out and go to a steakhouse. I thought it was going to be funny. So really, it's your fault? Oh, okay. So if Rose is mad at me, that's fine. It's me. Whew, what a day. I'm calling it now. The Auckland Showdown will have 70% Runeblade reputation, requiring emergency bans. We'll see what happens. Oh, was that about limited? Oh, gotcha. So we're going to talk about that, Jay, here in just a minute. We're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. Now, all right, first off, let's just get the big part out of the way here. In case you have not seen it, the cards that were banned in CC as of this Friday, May 29th. Channel Lightning Valley, Electromagnetic Somersault, Phantom Tidemaw, Reaping Blade, Skyward Serenade, Volzar the Lightning Rod. Now, these were all things that were mentioned in their, hey, here's what's coming message. These were all of the things that were mentioned. Nothing, like, as far as I am concerned, and stick with me for a minute, this says no changes. This says no changes because these are all the cards they told us we were watching. I understand they had to physically put all of the cards on there, and I'm glad that they did because it would have been confusing as hell if they didn't. But this is basically like no changes. Okay? So that's like how I'm interpreting the first part here. We're going to read every section of this. Flesh and Blood attempts an approach to card legality which has no analog in the history of TCGs, and it is one that has always put the best interest of players and collectors at the forefront of its decisions. The end goal of this approach has always been the same. Players should feel good about purchasing and holding a sizable collection of Flesh and Blood cards. There can certainly be fair criticisms levied regarding how long some cards must wait to reclaim relevancy, and what percentage of cards ultimately claim this long-term utility. Despite that, we can say in 100% good faith that we are always trying to deliver on our promise of a player-serving, non-rotating TCG. There are numerous other games which profess to offer a non-rotating model, but aggressive power creep renders their non-rotation a paper tiger. Some other non-rotating formats are left as also rans, desperate for even a breadcrumb of the attention lavished upon their rotating counterparts. We have always strived to offer something better, and it is time to be frank and direct about what this will require. Sometimes we're going to have to ban cards. To revisit beloved heroes and talents of the past, we need to move on from cards that have aged poorly or that will continue to produce compounding risk as the card pool grows. To make exciting new cards that our players will love, we need to be willing to take risks and operate at the boundaries of balanced and overpowered. It is easy to design safe cards and sets. It is far harder to deliver an iconic card and to offer the types of heroes that can go on to become the living legends of our game. This is not the type of adjustment every set will require. I can say that as of now, we have no preemptive bans queued up for either of the next two sets, and then in parentheses, although some cards may be skating on thin ice. However, when we do feel this type of large-scale adjustment is necessary in the future, we will not hesitate to do what is best for the game. On to the specific cards chosen here, starting with the lightning targets. Channel Lightning Valley was born at the time when the book burning was just starting to galvanize as a viable idea. We already knew we needed to do a better job restricting access to card draw and offensive overlaps, but perhaps we hadn't figured out just how far we would have to go to keep such a card at a healthy power level. Channel Lightning Valley just wouldn't be made under today's design principles. Electromagnetic Somersault has always been a card that intentionally pushed the limits of what numbers a card could theoretically offer. You can break traditional stat profiles if there is a large enough dose of variance baked into a card. But even if Electromagnetic Somersault wasn't always defending for 6, it did so many other things well that the variance of the defensive side just didn't matter all that much. I firmly believe that Electromagnetic Somersault is one of the coolest cards we've ever made. Side note, I completely agree. I actually really, really like that card. It allows for creative play, enables a whole host of strategies, and embodies its talent extremely well. It's just too good, and we don't want to balance an entire talent around its existence forever. Despite a prominent sect of conspiracy theorists who continue to convince themselves that the following story is a fabrication, Skyward Serenade was in fact a printing error. It just didn't feel right to ask players to routinely face off against a card that was doing more than we ever intended it to do. The feeling of losing to Skyward Serenade was bound to leave a sour taste in players' mouth. This error is better left in the past. Reaping Blade is a card that simultaneously presents two problems. First, its mode of disabling life gain can in rare circumstances create situations where neither player is incentivized to move the game forward to its conclusion. The second, and ultimately true damning problem, is that Reaping Blade is too efficient. 3 power for 1 cost is warrior levels of weapon output. I just want to take a moment. This made me laugh when I read it out loud the first time. Like when I read it to myself the first time on my lunch break today. They are comparing the idea of warrior levels to Reaping Blade being too good. I understand what they're going for. You guys don't need to explain it to me. I get it. It's just funny to hear that this warrior style card is like on rate with warrior cards is too powerful, so we're banning it. I understand. It's just funny. Here we go. Given anything else Runeblade has access to, we have long been seeking to redefine what the class's weapons should look like. In general, we like conditionally for Runeblade weapons going forward. We like conditionality for Runeblade weapons going forward. Reaping Blade is far too free. Volzar the Lightning Rod is likely the most controversial of the bans on this list, both internally and amongst the public. So much of Basilio Constella Intelligence identity is wrapped up in sending off massive blasts of arcane damage with Volzar after a Gone in a Flash turn. It's fair to say that many players who fell in love with his hero did so for his ability to put together these combo-esque turns. From his inception, Basilio was intended to be a descendant of the Kano school of combo wizardry. But, just like Kano, when Basilio finally found his competitive groove, he began to offer some of the most polarizing experiences in Flesh and Blood. He is built around the very concept of maximizing offensive overlaps. And with the addition of new cards in Omens of the Third Age, he was only going to get better at stacking his arcane damage up to uninteractable levels. Flesh and Blood should occasionally offer polarizing heroes and unique gameplay experiences. There needs to be heroes who cause a player to fall in love with Flesh and Blood. For many folks, these heroes look like a Kano or a Cilio. For others, these heroes are an affront to the game and thieves of all joy in the world. We can't serve both types of players simultaneously. What an interesting way to put that. I'm happy with and proud of the mode of gameplay Acilio and Volzar have brought to Flesh and Blood for the past 20 months. The combo has helped crown a Pro Tour champion and brought some of the most memorable matches of Flesh and Blood in the game's storied history to the feature match area. But it's now time for Acilio to evolve into something new. Acilio can still offer the same Gone in a Flash power fantasy as before, but will need to find new ways to sprinkle in arcane damage throughout a game rather than doing it all in one agency-denying salvo. Much like Berserk and Talk a Big Game before it, Phantom Tidemaw has the honor of claiming a ban despite probably not being a very good card or even enabling a good deck. In development, we identified a Ziggy build that utilized Phantom Tidemaw as the linchpin of a pure numbers check strategy, routinely offering 14 plus damage per turn. The Ziggy player has no chance. Have no conceivable way in your card pool to reach those numbers consistently? You have no chance. It was not the least bit satisfying as a play experience, and we saw no upside to releasing it on an unsuspecting public. Okay, let's talk about Silver Age. The following changes to Silver Age are effective from Friday, May 29th to 2026. Ira Crimson Haze is benched for 1 season. Kano and KO are both benched for 1 season. Chain is unbenched. Interesting. We knew Chain was coming back. Now, with that in mind, here are the cards that are being banned and unbanned. Cards that are getting unbanned include Ether Spindle, Burn Up and Shock, and Lightning Press. Cards that are being banned: Beckoning Haunt, Deathly Delight, Ebonfold, Flourish, Reaping Blade, Phantom Wraith, and Volzar the Lightning Rod. Volzar the Lightning Rod is getting hit in both formats. That is really interesting. The dev team has chosen not to use their discretionary vote to bench a hero for Omens of the Third Age season. The team also wishes to disclose that they considered applying their vote to Kano, a hero the community has also voted to bench, which would have extended his bench duration by an additional season, but felt this possibly was not clearly communicated in advance. In future, the dev team will retain the right to apply their vote to a hero that the community has also voted to bench, therefore extending the hero's bench duration for an additional season. The next scheduled BNR is Monday, June 29th. I have not read a single thing of chat. I apologize. I was getting to this message. There are going to be lots of interesting things. Let's go back up and start at the top. I think we should just start at the top and work our way down. Like, just let's start at the top. I even made like a list of some of the things that I wanted to talk about, because there are some really interesting pieces in this. And some of the way things are worded is honestly kind of just weird. Teklo said this BNR has given me gray hair. I don't think you're the only person that feels this way. I don't think you're the only person that feels this way. There are quite a few people who feel this way right now. Okay, let's start. Here we go. Let's start here. Hang on, let me make sure we get it like in the middle of the screen here. There are numerous other games which profess to offer a non-rotating model, but aggressive power creep renders their non-rotation a paper tiger. Some other non-rotating formats are left as also rans, which, in case you don't know what that means like very like dead last, way behind, not good, just as a quick, like, so everybody's aware. Desperate for even a breadcrumb of attention lavished upon their rotating counterparts. We have always strived to offer something better, and it is time to be frank and direct about what this will require. I feel like this could have been worded so much better. I feel like this could have been phrased in such a better way. It feels like this little piece specifically was written as like we were angry about something when we sat down to write this. Like, whoever wrote this, I don't think it says on the article whoever wrote this. It feels like they sat down angry to write this. They were mad about something. And they attacked other TCGs. I don't really understand the reasoning for that. Why are we attacking other trading card games? I have seen people say that they think it's Magic. I think there was somebody posted a picture in the Discord earlier of a pretty well-known Magic player. I believe their name is Mason, who said that like they were making fun of LSS and what they said, which, like, do whatever you want. It's you know, I'm not here to judge anybody, but why are we attacking other trading card games? Some people think it's Magic. Some people think it's Yu-Gi-Oh! I just don't understand. I don't get the rationale behind this. It feels like there is little to no reason to attack another game. We could have worded this in a way that was talking about how, hey, we are like striving to push for this non-rotating game, which they say up here, if you see this. Despite that, we can say in 100% good faith that we are always trying to deliver on our promise of a player-serving, non-rotating game. If you cut out the next 4 sentences and you just add this to the end of it, I think that is fine. You don't need this attack on other games. Like, I don't know. Like, I get that some people are like, ha 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 ha, you know, to hell with the other games. And like in passing with friends, jokes, I get it. I'm all for making jokes. I'll give you an example. I went and played Magic last weekend with one of my buddies, and somebody made the comment, you know, welcome to the adults game, and then they started laughing. Like just like they were just poking fun, having a good time. And to me, that was humor. This is coming from a company who runs the game we play. I don't understand why all of this is in there. Like the last sentence is fine. Like I like that. It's time to be frank and direct about what this will require. Done. Take away those like 3 or 4 sentences, slap it to the thing above it, and keep on going. I'm here for you being direct with me. I'm here for you being frank with me about what it's going to take to get the game to a place that you want it to be at, that you feel like makes the game healthy and fun. This felt like a pissed off teenager wrote it and they were just being salty. And I don't really understand why. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It throws me off. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth as someone who for most of my tenure in Flesh and Blood, when LSS has done things I don't like, I have really tried to like defend them and be on their side because I love LSS and I want them to succeed. I want Flesh and Blood to succeed. It just, I don't know. It just seems really petty. Like I don't know. I don't get it. Yo, Coon TCG, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you a whole bunch. Guys, if you are here for the first time and you are new to the channel, we got 3 questions we ask everybody when they're new. They are, what's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Tell me about yourself. Would love to get to know you guys a little bit better. Also, like if you guys disagree about things that I'm saying, shoot me a DM. Let's talk about it. I mean, you guys are also all obviously it's all like I'm always open to you guys like chatting. I'm more like spilling right now and like I'm not really reading chat as much, so I apologize. I'm more like going through my spiel here. Okay, let's scroll down here. There's something else that I want to talk about. I remember. Okay, here we go. Despite a prominent sect of conspiracy theorists who continue to convince themselves that the following story is fabrication, Skyward Serenade was in fact a printing error. It just didn't feel right to ask players to routinely face off against a card that was doing more than we ever intended it to do. The feeling of losing to Skyward Serenade was bound to leave a sour taste in players' mouth. This error is better left in the past. There are parts of this that I think are very true. When the article came out or like whatever it was, when they announced that Skyward Serenade was misprinted and there was supposed to be that period to change everything. Like if that, like, I'm not saying it was or wasn't what happened. There were times when I was playing Aurora and people would be like, oh, this card, like, and we would laugh about it because the people who play this game and the community of this game are genuinely good people and they're just there to have a good time. I don't really understand why we start this with, despite a prominent sect of conspiracy theorists who continue to convince themselves that the following story is a fabrication. I don't understand why we started this way. This feels like an attack at us. And I gotta be honest, as someone who loves this game, shares it with people, travels the world to play the game, and I'm very grateful that my hobby takes me around the world. This feels very much like LSS is like pointing the finger at us and saying, you need to like, I don't know. It feels like they are attacking us and pointing the finger at us. As a player, as a lover of the community and the game, I gotta tell you, this doesn't sit well with me. I don't like this. This is another section that feels like it feels like a salty teenager wrote this section mad at us. And I don't get it. Like, we criticize you because we care. And I get it. I said at the beginning of the stream that The criticism does not always come across in this positive way, the way we want it to. I am guilty of that, just like a lot of people in the community. I have let that frustration that I have run into my rant sometimes, and it's not always coming across as this constructive criticism. But I don't really understand why we're being attacked. This feels like this is probably the part of the article that sits the poorest with me. Like, this sits not good with me at all. I really don't like this. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't sit well with me. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe this is not how it was intended. Like, don't get me wrong. I also understand that, like, if they have like written this out of frustration, but it didn't send the message they want. I've been there. I think at some point we've all said something we didn't mean. We have all used a tone that we didn't mean. And also, this is a text that we're reading. Like, we're interpreting this how we interpret it, maybe not how they meant it. But regardless, I don't really like the way that this feels. This is probably the worst part of the article. Somebody told me earlier today that they feel like this was almost written by like this was almost like a message you would get from like an insecure significant other when you were in high school. And like, this is how it was typed and worded and stuff like that. So I don't know. I definitely get why they banned Skyward Serenade though. Like, I'm not saying they shouldn't have. As an Aurora stan, I would love to have Skyward Serenade and Skizzik around in the deck, but I get why they got rid of it. Like, that completely makes sense. The other part of the article kind of addresses, like, we're going to talk, like there's a couple more things I want to talk about. One of them is very directly about, like, the CC section here. There is a part of this that just doesn't make any sense to me. They talked about, yeah, of course I want my yellow 0 for 6 back, bro. Come on now. Back in December December, I believe is when it was, they made a pretty big ban announcement. You know, we got yellow and blue Orb Weaver. We got Brand with Cinderclaw. We got Chart. Like, we got some pretty big hits. And they literally told us that they felt like the meta was healthy, that it was fine, but they were shaking the meta up. That they wanted to shake the meta up. And maybe the reason they didn't change anything or they didn't address anything, I guess, is because they were like, oh, you're getting a new set. That's going to shake the meta up. We don't want to touch anything because the set is going to shake up enough of the meta. If that is the case, I have a couple of problems with that. The first one that I really have a problem with is that they did not address any of the heroes in this article that are dominating the meta, quote unquote. Like, they did not address Victor. They didn't talk about Victor. They didn't talk about Mario. And if they were going to not hit anything, like, I am someone who did not think they were going to hit Tarantula Toxin. But if they did, I would have understood. If they would have hit Remembrance, which I think they should have, I would have understood. It's weird that they didn't even say anything. They didn't mention Victor. They didn't mention the metagame. They didn't mention, like, they just did not mention the rest of the classic constructed format. Just like, this whole BNR was about the new set and voting for Silver Age. It kind of feels like they rushed to throw this together. And, like, this was put together based off of, like, what they said a couple of months ago. And I get it. Like, I understand that it's probably not just this rushed together thing because they told us 2 months ago they were looking at all these cards. But the fact that they didn't even mention the rest of the metagame is very odd to me. I don't really understand that. Like, I don't know. It's very odd. I just don't get it. I just don't understand why they didn't talk about it. I would have personally have liked to have seen a meta shakeup. Like I think a meta shakeup would have been really good. Like shake up the meta. I would have loved to have seen Remembrance restricted and Scar Tissue banned. Like that is what I would have liked to have seen. Now Fang would have had to have caught a stray if that happened. But when we go back to the Tipple conversation, Marlin caught a stray in that BNR, and they even addressed it in the BNR. So I don't know. I don't know. It's very odd to me. Rose just said, I question who wrote this article. I don't know who wrote the article. Does it say? Doesn't it normally say at the top or the bottom? It does not say. That also feels kind of intentional. Oddly, that does feel kind of intentionally. It does not say. I've had a couple of people speculate that they know who wrote the article based off of past articles from other games they worked on, and some of the tone and the verbiage of the article, that they have a vibe for who they think wrote it, but nobody knows for sure. I don't know. Does it just say LSS? Oh, it does just say that, doesn't it? It doesn't have a name, which I find kind of weird. Like, I think that's kind of odd. I don't really understand that. And if they haven't said that in the last few BNR announcements, I don't know. The argument for something getting unbanned, I just saw Yonder say something about that. I'm going to explain to you why Scar Tissue. Scar Tissue is not random to me. One of the things that fuels Mario's game plan is Mario's ability to attack you with daggers that do not mark you, and then still mark you with cards like Scar Tissue. Scar Tissue takes away some of their ability to flip and do things and do other nonsense. So Scar Tissue makes a lot of sense to me personally. That's like one of the things that I wanted to see. But regardless. And then as far as unbans, I genuinely think we are in a place where like Chart and Brand could have been unbanned. If they unbanned something like the blue and the yellow orb weavers, I would have been like, yo, like, what the heck? Why? I don't understand that. But I 100% like could have seen a Brand unbanned. Now, I will say, I kind of understand why they didn't unban Brand. Syndra with the new like Draco Fire or Draco Fire or whatever it's called, actually been pretty solid. Card's actually really good in Syndra. There's been some internal team testing. I'm not going to share the list that the team's working on, but it's been pretty good so far. Plume getting unbanned seems like it could have been reasonable, actually. Plume getting unbanned seems like it could have been reasonable, actually. The only reason I can see that they would not have unbanned Plume is there is a version of Jarl going around right now that is playing like Fertile Ground, and it is on like super fatigue life gain, and it's how you beat like fatigue Victor. Is the idea is that it's gonna be hard for you to kill me if I'm at freaking 80 is the goal of the deck. And I'm pretty sure Plume can get back an Earth Instant, if I remember correctly. So getting back Fertile Ground again might have been too good. So I don't know. How bad could Jarl abuse Crown of Seeds? I mean, I think the new crown that like has AB2 on it tells us we're never gonna get Crown of Seeds back. Crown of Everbloom or whatever it's called. So I want Codex of Frailty gone. It's so annoying. So, Brady, I don't think that they're ever going to ban a card like Codex. Like, and I'm not... If you want something gone, that is okay. I'm just sharing that I don't think they ever will get rid of Codex because they literally print it overcrowded. It is a card that counters that like Codex so hard. So I don't think they'll ever get rid of Codex at this point. But regardless, my point to this is that they didn't really talk about the meta, and I think that's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know. Just looked up. They retroactively changed all the banned announcements to LSS. when originally they announced they were written by Brian. I mean, people were saying that they think Brian wrote this. Like, that is what people were saying to me. Like, the validity of that, I don't know. I'm not here to speculate and guess. Unban High Octane? Yo. My Huntsman deck has 1 Gravekeeping to banish their Overcrowded. I mean, Matagon, that's pretty cool. They still get Ponder and you discard a card? Yeah, I mean, I still just don't think Codex is too powerful. Codex has been in the game since 23. If we were going to ban Codex, I would say we would have banned Codex already. Is like the world that I'm living in. I don't know. Yo, Rob Zombie with the 15 months over on Twitch. Thank you so much for the Prime support over on Twitch. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's add another one to our number. That is 517. You'll love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. There was another thing that I wanted to talk about that I felt like kind of struck me as weird. Oh, it was kind of going back to like this whole vibe right here. There's this section that says we have always strived to offer something better. So the reason that I said they should keep this in and move it up and they should get rid of the rest of the sentences there is also partially due to the fact that this says we have always strived to offer something better. They attacked other trading card games, and I know we talked about this, so I won't spend a lot of time harping on it, but they attacked other trading card games and basically referred to how they do things that like it's like not good. They called other formats also rans and desperate for even a breadcrumb of the attention that other formats are getting, which is kind of wild. We have always strived to do something better. To attack other card games and then say we've always strived to do something better just feels like, hey, these other card games suck. And now I'm going to pat myself on the back. Like, now I'm going to stroke my own ego. And that's kind of weird. I don't know. Like, I know we talked about this section already, but that was one thing that I wanted to talk about. Like, that was, I don't know. Like them patting themselves on the back after that is kind of crazy. Like, it reads very arrogant to me. It reads very arrogant to me, and honestly, I'm just not a fan of that. I don't know. This whole article just gives me, like, it's kind of funny, because the first time I read it, I didn't really think too much about it. I read it and was like, okay, they shared some of the stuff. I wish they would have talked about, like, Victor or Mario more. I wish they would have done this. The new bench rule is kind of weird, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But then, like, after reading it a second time, like, I see it, like, and I hear it, and it just does not come off well. I don't know. Yo, Chris with the 7-stream watch streak. Thank you so much for the 7-stream watch streak. Appreciate that. Hasbro and Konami deserves it. I'm not going to say that other cards other card like game developers do or do not deserve something. I think we're getting into a really weird and very dangerous territory when we start saying people deserve this or people deserve that. That is a very scary lane to step into, and I really don't want that from my card game developer. Like, I don't know. I don't want that from the people who create and monitor the game that I love and play. That's a scary road to go down to. I did see somebody asked if Kano is gone for 2 seasons. No, I'm pretty sure the answer is no. It is my understanding that Kano is gone for 1 season and that they are telling us that in the future they can push things out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's no. Yeah, we're going to talk about the they forgot to tell us, because I'm pretty sure that shit just never was mentioned. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about Sage a little bit. I do have some things to talk about with Silver Age as well. And sorry, I know I've been yapping about the ban list for like almost an hour now. If you guys want me to stop yapping about the ban list and you guys want to draft, you guys can say so. I'll stop yapping about the ban list because I'm kind of just like I don't want to say I'm running in circles because I am sharing thoughts with you that I have not talked about, but I also understand that the negativity cannot be fun. So if you guys just want me to shut up and draft, that's okay too. Like, okay, let's talk about Silver Age. The 3 heroes that we voted for were Ira, Kano, and KO. Now, I personally voted for Kano. I'm in a weird position having voted for Kano because it almost feels like I wasted my vote. And I'm going to explain why. Saying wasted my vote might be a little aggressive, but as someone who voted for Kano, and Kano is now gone, but based off what they said, I am just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And let's talk about why. So hang on down here. I'm gonna read this again. We're gonna read this again. Yo, let's go, Rose, with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Rose. I appreciate that. We pay you to yap, Mr. Content Man, but if you want to take a break and draft to raise the mood, then draft. No, I mean, I wasn't saying that like listen, I will sit and talk to you guys about this the entire stream. Like, I am happy to sit and talk to you guys about this stuff the entire stream. Bothers me zero. Bothers me zero. Okay, let's talk about this right here. The dev team has chosen not to use their discretion. The dev team has chosen not to use their discretionary vote to bench a hero for Omens of the Third Age season. The team also wishes to disclose that they considered applying their vote to Kano, a hero the community has also voted to bench, which would have extended his bench duration by an additional season, but felt this was possibly not clearly communicated in advance. In the future, the dev team will retain the right to apply their vote to a hero that the community has also voted to bench, thereby extended that hero's bench duration for an additional season. Yeah, sorry, I was having a stroke right there. Somebody should clip that shit and send it to the Discord. They tell us here that they said that they were looking at Kano. They had considered applying their vote to Kano. To me, that reads as we were going to bench Kano if you did not. Why? I don't understand why they wouldn't just tell us this. This is the part that confuses me. I voted for Kano. And it feels like I wasted my vote because they're telling me that they considered applying their vote to Kano, but they didn't because we voted him out. I wish they would have told us that they were going to bench Kano. They did not have to tell us why until this article came out. They did just tell me. I wish they would have told us before. Sorry, let me rephrase. I wish they would have told us before. Like, if they would have like put out, let's say they put it on Dev Talk a week before benching, 2 weeks before bench voting, right? And they say, hey, like this is probably the number one hero we are keeping our eye on. Well, in my head, that says to me, vote for something else. Because we will take care of this if you guys don't. They said to us, this is not how they are going to balance the format. As long as they didn't delete the article, I can go back and find it and show it to you if I have to. They told us that the voting, is not about balancing. This is about getting heroes out of the format so that they can shake things up. This says to me that our vote is like a balancing tool. That they are going to hold their vote to balance further than what we did. I just don't like that it feels like I wasted my vote. That is a lot of where my issues are coming from with this. Is that it feels like I wasted my vote. And maybe I'm being a pansy about it, you know? Like maybe I'm being a pansy about it. Like I don't know. The idea that I wasted my vote on a hero that I don't like, feels bad to me. I also really don't like that they said, but felt like this was not clearly communicated in advance. This feels like to me that they were thinking this but never told us this. And like I get it. They're not perfect. But this feels like a pretty big oopsie to have not told us about. Because if we vote Kano and they vote Kano's gone for 2 seasons. Which, like, I'm not arguing with. I'm just saying, like, that was also not something that I feel like they had mentioned before. So it's like, it's kind of weird. Because it doesn't really feel like they are letting us pick what we want gone. I mean, they are, but they're coming behind us with like a napkin and cleaning up the rest of the mess. And I guess I'm confused. I would rather them actually balance the format as opposed to just banning heroes for longer or banning a hero extra. I don't know. Maybe I'm just I don't know. The rest of like a lot of the things we talked about earlier. No, see that's the thing though, Yonder. They literally said in an article, the hero benches are not to balance the format. And if you said ban, if you meant the cards on there, then we'll go back and talk about that in just a second because we're going to talk about the cards. We're going to talk about the cards. But right now I'm talking about benching specifically. We've talked about hero benching and how I feel like I wasted my vote. I won't spend more time rambling and carrying on about it. Let's talk about what got banned and unbanned really quick here. Like let's run over this so that we can talk about it. Cards that are banned. Ebonfold, Beckoning Haunt, Reaping Blade, Volzar, Flourish, Deathly Delight, Phantom Wraith. Ebonfold, very powerful card, works with Chain's hero ability very, very well. Phantom Wraith and Deathly Delight are clearly just 2 powerful Runegate cards that work in the deck. Beckoning Haunt, a good blocking arm piece that also works with being able to buy things back. Reaping Blade, just a value weapon. Flourish, I'm assuming, is to try and slow Briar down a little bit. And then Volzar is for whatever they think Swolio is about to be up to, which can be very powerful. Where did this come from? Like, I know that Chain came back, so they hit stuff. What is this based off of? Why was this hit? They don't talk about why things that were banned were banned. And again, this kind of feels like the CC portion where they didn't really touch on the rest of the things. They just said, this is banned, go have fun. I would like to know why. I would like to know what testing led to this decision. Let's say that there was 0 testing done, which I don't believe. I think LSS cares about their game more than that. They didn't even talk about it. And like, I know that Tyler just said they were the 2-cost rune gates that they have in their deck. Alan Warnock, thank you so much for the sub over on YouTube. Guys, again, if you are here for the first time and you are new to the channel, we got 3 questions for you. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? What are your favorite hot dog toppings? I just wish they would have talked about it. I would like to know the rationale of what is going on here. Because the thing that stands out to me, there's no rune chant generation on here. They didn't get rid of anything that generates rune chants for chain. And I get it, you can't play like widespread annihilation and widespread destruction. But that recess card, that's a rare. That costs 4. Like, you can do some pretty cool things with chain still. And I get it, they don't want chain to be terrible, which I'm going to be honest, I don't know the links you would have to go to make chain terrible. Like, chain is probably just the best hero ever printed ever. If I, like, maybe. It might. I think there's a real argument for that. No, Deathly Well is 3. Deathly Well is 3. And, like, I get it. They're getting rid of, like, Phantom Wraith and Deathly Delight, which are 2 costs, right? I mean, Starvo might be the best of all times. Like, Deep Recess is not a Majestic. The new 4-cost 6-power thing from Pin, that's a rare. Like, hang on, I'm gonna look this up. I am like 99% sure that is a rare. Yeah, Deep Recess of Existence is a rare. I just looked it up. So we're talking about a card that lets you recycle other cards you can play from your banish, which is a pretty interesting place to be. Sorry, I had to unhighlight to go to that. That is a rare. Like, and I get it. We're not like trying to do the most broken things in the world with it. I'm just saying that I wish they would have talked about it. Like, you can clearly piece together that Deathly Delight and Phantom Wraith are 2 costs. Like, guys, I understand that. I get that. It's their lack of communication that throws me off, that I don't get. Tell me. Talk to me. And then, let's move forward. I'm gonna come back to Cyborg's quote in just a minute here, because I know he's quoting the last banned and restricted announcement. Actually, let's just say this now before the chat will go away. In service of this goal, Silver Age ban list updates will not carry the same context explanations as their classic constructed analogs. Bans will simply be presented. I understand they've said that. I just think it's stupid. Why are you going to ban cards from a format that is your $20 ticket to the World Tour and not tell me why? Bans were just presented? Maybe everyone else is okay with it. And maybe this is another topic where, like, I'm just being salty. Because I have to admit, I'm pretty frustrated with some of the stuff that LSS has been doing over the last year or two. Like, some of the decisions they make, like, leave me, like, befuddled, staring at a monitor, wondering what's going on. Like, this morning, it left me befuddled at, like, 8 a.m., reading the freaking banned and restricted announcement, like, just looking at what was banned. I want them to communicate with us. And I get it. They set the precedent. They set the precedent of, like, that they were not going to tell us why. That, in my opinion, does not make it okay. I told you so is not an effective answer. I hated when my dad told me that shit when I was a kid. I hate it now. I am a consumer of your game. Share with me. Make me a believer. I'm already at the Mirage. You just got to tell me about it. Mirage was not a good example because Mirage implies that Flesh and Blood's not a good game and it's an amazing game. Anyway, moving past the fact that they didn't tell us, right? So they don't tell us. They don't tell us in the article. 14, 15 hours later, dev talk drops. Bang. I'm like, here we go. I'm looking. I'm like, this is it. They didn't talk about it, but within 24 hours, like within guaranteed 24 hours, we have a video, 30 minutes of them talking about it. None of it was mentioned once. None of it was mentioned once. They did talk about how some of the cards, they did talk about these cards getting unbanned because they're in pre-cons that were made over a year or two ago. They did talk about that. I just want to know how they arrived at banning certain things. And like, I don't know. I wish the communication was there. As someone who plays this game or is studying this game or is making content for this game, like I want to give you guys an example of my week, and I'm going to explain to you why I wish they communicated with me, and I'm going to be a little vulnerable here for a minute, probably more than you guys care to know. This week has been a very busy week for me. I have had a lot going on at work. I am taking on a lot of responsibility next week at work, and I've been preparing for that. So I have, there have been days where I've worked from home. Today I worked from home a little bit, but I have been very busy at work. I have been doing a lot of things. In the midst of that, I managed to not only record, but I spent time actually drafting and studying the limited format to try and make a pre-release guide so that everybody could watch it and try to have a better understanding of what's going on in limited. I understand not everybody has the time that I do. So my Sunday, I spent in here locked in my room drafting. That was not solely for your benefit. I'm not going to sit here and say it was. I wanted to learn more about the draft format because I like to make content and because I need to know how to draft at U.S. Nationals. I had to spend an entire day drafting multiple times to learn about the format. Then, after streams, so I would work all day, come home. Before streams, I would try to work on scripts. I would record pieces of videos. After streams, you can ask Carly. I sat in here till midnight or later, multiple times, trying to get things put together for you all so that I could have stuff ready to go. So that we could have the pre-release video on Wednesday, and then tomorrow we have the Ziggy Armory deck upgrade. And I spent a lot of time researching both and playing games with both to make sure that I have an understanding of what's going on to help you all better put together things. I love this game. I make content because I really like it. I would love for LSS to show me that they care about us as much as they care about the game. Because I know they love the game, but the lack of communication makes me feel like sometimes they're just like, meh, they'll do whatever. And that's the vibe that I get sometimes. And I hate that I feel that way. I hate that that's the vibe that I get. I have not seen the Talishar stats for new heroes on Fablazing. I have not, no. Does your guide explain why I stink? I have not. It'll help you with that. It'll help you with that. Does that help? So anyway, sorry, all I could do is an extremely salty tone BNR. Tell us to prepare their butts for kicking. That's hilarious. I mean, overworking myself is one part of it, right? Because, don't get me wrong, I treat this like a business because, because I think it needs to be. Like, I stream consistently and regularly because I love it and because I would love for this to be my job one day. So I'm working my butt off to do my best to try and make it my job one day without interfering with my job during the day. I do want to make that clear for everybody at home. I work during the day. I'm not just sitting here making content all day. Like, I work 8 or 9 hours every day. And so it's, yeah, I don't know. I just, sometimes the lack of communication scares me from LSS. Okay, let's talk about these cards getting unbanned because they are in the decks. Burn Up and Shock, Lightning Press, and Ether Spindle getting unbanned because they are in the Briar and the Blaze Precon decks means that this is my gut, my initial visceral reaction is that Briar is going to run this format. Briar and Chain. Even with the bans, I think Boomer Chain is still good enough to just be powerful and do powerful shit. Briar is going to be the quote-unquote Cheerios deck of choice. I think Briar is going to obliterate. She is very powerful. She blocks well on defense because of her offensive game. Burn Up and Shock makes it to where racing her is nearly impossible if they draw it early on, especially with Lightning Press. There was a period of time, like I will say, the last couple of months, like you have been able, or whenever the BNR was, you've been able to play around the Briar deck a little bit because you knew Lightning Press wasn't there. You knew you weren't racing Burn Up and Shock, but now it's back. Now I am going to say this, that I thought KO was going to dominate the last meta, and I was very wrong about that. It is possible, it's very, very possible that I'm wrong about Briar dominating this format. Also, Chain's back, so like I think that Chain will be very good. If there is any hope of beating these decks, it is going to be in the form of Oldeming the shit out of them. It is going to be fatiguing the crap out of them and just blocking. So, like, as far as Silver Age is concerned, even with Blaze coming around, I will probably lean into just playing Oldem. Like, that will probably be what I do moving forward with Silver Age, is just play Oldem and hope I can fatigue them. I was right about the last one because Briar was clearly broken format before. Yeah, she was very powerful. I agree, Matt. Probably Icelander spamming Frostbites on their turn. I mean, Icelander is going to have to, like, flip, like, how she plays, right? The answer of playing 3-for-7 math against Briar, I don't think is going to get you there. Like, you're going to need to be on some, like, more ice stuff to counter Briar in her new spot. Frost Spike is the card I think of. That's the card that I could see doing some real work. Oh, Betsy. Yo, Betsy. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. The hope is Zen with Hope Merchant's Hood and drawing 2 to 3 after shipping Tigers away. That could be interesting. Oldem, Icelander, Blaze, and Dromai are all good against Briar. I mean, define good. Briar just got Burn Up and Shock back. Oldem is like the one deck that I think can try to keep Briar in check. I don't like Icelander, if tuned the right way, sure. Blaze, maybe. Depends on how fast you can get going and what you can do. I don't know. Briar with Rush of Power and Quick Succession. I mean, yeah, those are going to be good cards. Yeah, the card that pings on attacker blocks also going to be really solid. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that I think that Briar is going to be very powerful. And Chain being back is going to be something else as well. So I don't know. I will say they did. This is pretty bright. Flashbang warning. Flashbang warning for everybody at home. This was the votes are in. This was the numbers they shared with us during the dev talk. Now they did not give us hard numbers, but they did. They did give us percentages, which I'm pretty happy about. Ira at 22%, Kano at 21%, and KO at 16%. I low key thought that Briar would be third, and KO, it would be like a KO Oldham duking it out in the format kind of thing. Kind of what I thought. By the way, there's also a world where like Bolton's pretty good after Raiden's downgraded. I don't really know what that looks like yet, but there's a world where that could be good. My son's college fund on cold foil rods are worthless. Oh my god, bro. So the voting is interesting. I actually had more. I had one more thing on here to talk about that I was frustrated about, and that it was that they did not share the numbers with us. Not sharing it in the article, but sharing it in the dev talk video. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I'm glad that they shared like the numbers with us. I'm glad they shared the numbers with us on like what the percentages were that everybody voted for. Somebody had mentioned that over 10,000 people voted. I guess they said that during the video and I missed it, but kind of checks out though. They will be benched for Worlds. I mean, they said that Burn Up and Press was getting unbanned at 0% that Briar survives. Feels a bit bait switchy. It was in the video? Okay, thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. So, I mean, yeah, 10,000 people voted. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that 10,000 people voted. And it's kind of neat that, like, the numbers were as close as they were, right? I don't know. I'm glad they shared this information. They shared this information with us. Wait, Flourish is in the gym pack? Is Flourish in gym pack 5? Also, that's kind of weird to me. They put Dash.io as the Marvel in Gym Pack 5. And Dash.io is about to rotate, probably. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I participated in killing Kano. I'm not surprised they're noob at all. And its idea, but man, it's not ran too well. I mean, respectfully towards LSS, running formats well isn't exactly what they're known for. They are known for developing an amazing game that has a lot of thought and depth to it, but they are not exactly known for their great decisions after that. Gym Pack 5 was printed 6 months ago. Was it really? Who else is missing a Marvel is more the issue, I think. I mean, that's true. Aren't they kind of doing Gym Pack Marvels in order? They could be. They could be. It's very possible. Last year was CC and LL, yeah. Dio is the cold foil Marvel since it's the one of the missing Marvels. Plus, they've been cold foiling the mech cards for the last year. I mean, I don't know. It just feels weird. It just feels weird to me that like it's Dio right before that. Alexi Marvel would be cool. I mean, I don't know really what the point of having an adult Marvel would be at this point. Like, you can't play her except for an LL. I think it's only Vincent and Teklovasa now in CC. The missing Marvels are Bolton, Levia, Lexi, Phi, Dromai, Icelander, Vincent, and Teklo. Phi doesn't have a Marvel? No, Phi has a cold foil or whatever from that ProQuest season or RTN season, but I guess there is not a Marvel. Interesting. I would imagine they're going to go back to draft for Worlds. Icelander has a young Marvel, right? Not an adult Marvel? Yeah, adult Icelander does not have a Marvel. I think the discussion that we're having here is adult heroes specifically. When Dio rotates, unban High Octane. I mean, they'll probably just never unban High Octane, right? Like, it's probably just never happening. Fi's Uprising, there was no Marvels yet? Oh, interesting. Wait, no, the only Marvel that existed at that time was Starvo, right? There was a Starvo Marvel, if I remember correctly. Is Dromai coming back next year? Do you guys think that's what they were hinting at when they talked about 2027 in the dev talk? Do you guys think that's what they were talking about when they said 2027? Oh, no worries, Kree. I would also like to see Lexi back. I feel like we didn't get Lexi back with this set as a lightning-only ranger because they wanted to balance draft. Dromai is next year. This has been known. Oh, okay, I'm living under a rock. We got the AI placeholder art for Dromai ages ago. No, I don't remember that. Yeah, Starvo? Yeah, there was a Starvo Marvel, right? Briar has... I thought the Briar Marvel was young. I did not think it was an adult. Was it an adult? Yeah, I remember the Starvo Marvel because it was like the only one at the time. I remember that being a big deal. So Rika also like kind of hits like a big point that I feel like we should talk about. And there was a lot of discussion around this in the podcast last week with Taylor Sam and I, where we talked about how LSS kind of just keeps saying, oh, this is awesome. This is gonna be awesome. Oh, we know this was like, you know, whatever, but this is gonna be awesome. That feels kind of weird. I have a weird taste about that whole thing because I admit I am exploring Aurora more and I'm working on Aurora more with people now that all the cards are out. And it's been a fun experience. The thought process of it has been fun. You know, like on Tuesday, we played the Cheerios version of the deck, which I'm still continuing to work on. And then I'm working on like a 12 to 15 blue pitch version of the deck with a couple of buddies. Dot actually, who's hanging out in the chat, we were talking about it earlier. So like there are things to explore with this format, but outside of the limited portion of this format, I have felt like the CC impact of Omens of the Third Age has been kind of middling so far. Somebody get Samuel Graham a promotion. I want an Ice Ninja. Hell yeah, brother.
Lizard.
Absolutely. Confetti for that. Confetti. Yo, confetti did not work? What the hell? Y'all heard that, right? Like the confetti noise came through. Hang on. I gotta change this shit to make sure it works. There will be confetti around here. Okay, there we go. Does the you lose thing work?
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I hate when this shit stops working. Sorry, we're having a well, you guys are now watching something else. There it is. That was my Ben Stiller. You know that I know. I recorded that for something. They said Ice Ninja is going to be released someday. James confirmed it. When did James confirm this? Are you not impressed by Swolio's 236% win rate? I mean, yeah. Oh, dude, the Yarrow Marvel is sick. LSS took my confetti away? Oh, that's so good. That's amazing. I mean, hang on. What were we talking about? Shit, I'm having a stroke now. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about sets and like kind of just like it feels like there's been a lot of things that have been adapted to that mentality of like, oh, like we know this wasn't great, but don't worry, this is sick. Like that's kind of how I felt like about Super Slam. Was that they told us, oh, Super Slam, you know, like it's fine, but Compendium of Wraith is the shit. Get ready. And it was fine. We got a few new cards, but like, I don't know, nothing crazy. Like we didn't get anything. We didn't get like, I mean, there were some good cards in Compendium of Wraith, and I get it. It was for Sage on some level, but it was like, man, you charged us $20 more a box for a premium set that is like not really holding shit all value, and I don't really understand that. Omens of the Third Age. I am buying a case. I buy a case of every set. I think Carly and I are going to stream my case opening next weekend. I love opening boxes. Carly and I opening boxes is like so much fun. She likes opening the packs. I really enjoy opening all the packs. The last, like, I will say Super Slam and Compendium of Wraith have left me feeling very discouraged. Like I get done opening it and I'm like, that's it? Like this is what I have? So I'm getting a case, but if this set doesn't like hold its value, or like there's something crazy out of it, or like set 20 is not awesome, I may stop buying cases, which is kind of sad. Like I may literally stop buying cases. And it makes me sad because I love to do it. I love to support my local game store. A good friend of mine runs our local game store that I buy all my cases from. So the idea of it not being worth it makes me sad. And I get it. I'm not saying that we should have like some Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising bubble shit where everything is overpriced and everything is crazy. But we're living in this world where like lots of cards are still overpriced. Like a good example, we don't know the price of this card yet, but I imagine it's going to be expensive if the new heroes are good, is Volteris. Like Volteris is kind of crazy. It is a blue that makes a lightning flow. It works with all 3 heroes if you need it to. That is just so good. The power of that is just very, very good. As much as I love collecting Fables, the playability of Fables and them being $300-$400 is not great. Like if we want Fables to be like hard to find and, you know, like not opened as much, and you want them to hold their value, like they need to be fringe playable, not Riches of Tropal Donnie, at least in my opinion. Yo, let's go, Trent. Trent with 30 months over on YouTube. Dude, Trent, thank you so much for the 30 months, brother. I appreciate that. It means a whole bunch. Thank you, thank you. Let's go, 519. 519, we're rolling close to that Betsy cosplay. I want more Plague Hives. Yeah. I want more Plague Hives, and I want more Master Cogs, or whatever the hell it was called. The one from Bright Lights. I want more shit like that. I want more shit like that. I don't want Miss Cloak Goldie. I don't want it to be this unplayable shit. But I want it to be fringe playable. I want it to be fringe playable. If they go back to making them weird landmarks and they're gonna cost like $100 to buy like a cold foil version of it so that I can have it as a collection, it's fine. Like that's fine. If they're going to be dog shit, let them be dog shit. I have very mixed emotions on the Command and Conquer version. So, like, take Command and Conquer, for example, right? Like, the Command and Conquer Fabled reprint is very expensive. They're a lot of money. They are very, very expensive. But it's also like a quote-unquote reprint of the game, of the card. So I'm kind of like stuck on that. Just get rid of Fabled and give us an Enigma New Moon raid of card that's just funny and fun to collect. I mean, Heroes is a weird one, I think. You want to crank your Master Cog? First off, maybe. Oh, man. Schism was the perfect fable, flavorful, but not essential. I actually agree with that, Dave. Schism was a good one. And it was blue, so like it was fringe playable. Card being above $200 at its cheapest version is a mistake, in my opinion. That's fair. It's also the worst looking printing of CNC, in my opinion. Ooh, interesting take, Sam. Interesting take, Sam. I don't know that I've heard that one before. I don't know. I don't want the Fableds to be ridiculously priced and then be like really, really powerful. Because you add a lot of points to your deck when you do that. And like the example that I will give you is the Riches of Tropeldani Marlin loop at the end of the game. You have a loop at the end of the game where you can send 6 overpower, which is funny because Betsy does that shit with 2 cards now. Anyway, Riches of Tropeldani like works to where like it makes a gold and keeps your hero ability going so that you can keep making harpoons and setting them up and then 6 overpower every turn. But I like, you should not need a $300 card for something like that. So I don't know. I struggle with some of the things that they do because price is a big issue for a lot of people. And I think that Silver Age was supposed to solve that in a lot of ways, but feels like it has not. Feels like it has not. So Grandeur of Valhai is a great example of like, that is like fringe playable. It's way more money than it should be, in my opinion, but it is 110% fits into that category of fringe playable. Like Grandeur is really good in Volda, but yeah. Swolio 2 has an infinite with Voltaris, but it isn't very good. I mean, again, if Voltaris is going to be $250, then that feels bad. Like, I don't know. Like, if Voltaris is like $100, cool. Like, your one of in the set being $100 is fine. Like, I don't. And I swear, if one of y'all says some shit about protecting collectors or whales in the game, nah. No. Wrong. Will of Arcana is also a very neat Fabled, I agree. Next set after Warrior Mastery Pack is the Shadow set and will probably be released around October. Time to hand out pumpkin promos and make them rare or something. I mean, pumpkin promos will be cool. I will say there is a new set of creator promos that are being included with my my spoiler card that they send. Like, when you get a spoiler card for a set, they send you a copy of it. They normally send me the highest rarity of it, is what they've done in the past. So I think I'm going to get an EA Tempestuous Kiss, which I'm pretty excited about. But they're sending us creator promos as well. They reached out to me and said they were sending us creator promos, that they were ours to do what we wish with, that they were really cool. So I don't know what it is. I don't even know if it's been released yet. I just got the email the other day, and I'm very excited to see what it is. We'll probably be giving some away during streams and stuff like that. I will be waiting for my Runeblade return patiently. I mean, dude, Briar's gonna be there. You have Runeblade, dog. Come on, you have Runeblade.
Lizard.
I know it's not what you meant. There are creator promos that they are sending out, yeah. I think Voltaris is going to settle into Light of Souls level of expensive, especially if the heroes are bad mid. I mean, if that's true, that's great. I would love for Fables to settle into that Light of Soul range, because I don't even know how much Light of Soul is. Do you guys know how much it is? Hang on, I'll look it up on the other monitor here so I don't flashbang you guys with TCG Player. Because I don't even have like a... Light of Soul's $91. At its peak, it was $125. $100 Fable. That is very playable in Prism, by the way. Very playable Fables that are $100 are perfect. That would be the sweet spot. LSS, if we come back to this and Voltaris lands in that spot, well done. That's what Fabled should be. Well done. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course they're 500, right? Like, pre-order is always ridiculous. They always pre-order stuff is crazy. Light of Soul was $15 on release? There's no way. Brother. Come on now, Drums. There's no shot a Fable was $15 on release. Master Cog is yellow. If we're complaining about things, it's not really the message that I've wanted for this stream, but I guess that's what's been some of the takeaway here. Omens of the 38th Collection is delayed in Brazil and should only arrive on the day of release. If there is a product issue and I cannot have singles for US Nationals, I'm going to be very sad. I'm going to be very, very sad. I mean, thankfully, I'm playing Betsy, so I'll only need a log when I get there, but... So, for anybody who does not know, Swolio is still very good after the bans. At least I think there's a reasonable version of the deck that exists. I think that Swolio 1 still exists in some number. Mario's still going to be very good, I think. Like, I think Mario is probably just aggressive enough to, like, run over everything. And then I don't see anything for the new set that's going to give Victor a problem. So I still think we can expect to see a couple Victor in top 8 at Nats. I still think we can see a couple of Swolio or like Swolio and like a couple of Mario. Majestic should not cost much more above $20 a card. Legendary should not cost much more above $50 a card. And Fabled should not cost much more around $100 a card. I mean, every Majestic being $20 is kind of a weird thing to wrap my head around. You're talking about if that's the price model we go off of, every deck now becomes like what? A few $100? Something like that? Like a few $100? Probably. Every deck is now $400 or $500. Blood of Drakkai's $20? Now that actually checks out. Tell the cost curve to every TCG ever. The cost curve. I mean, I don't know. Like, somebody told me, I am not sure how true this is. I'm not fact checked this. I was told that at the regional tournament for Riftbound, there was a deck in top 8 that cost like $80 or $100. And like, that's some Pokemon level stuff of like cards being cheap, which is kind of crazy to me. Like that's kind of interesting. Cards being that cheap is on another level, I feel like. Are eternal and flexible. I finally bit the bullet and got my playset of CNCs, a Tunic, and Crown. I mean, yeah, I think that, like, CNC's Tunic and Crown of Providence or like Balance of Justice, stuff like that, are cards that are just played over eternal formats. They'll be played forever. Why is Riftbound so cheap? But their rotation system is terribly bad, in my opinion. One Piece is the cheapest TCG competitively. I didn't realize that it was so cheap. That's crazy. 70 euros? Or is that pounds? I think that's euros. I would be very happy if Fab was Pokemon level cheap. I don't think it ever will be. Riftbound is cheap because Riot knows what they are doing. LMAO. I mean, I've heard that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Talking about Riftbound, I've not played Riftbound. I did get some fun cards. We went to a pre-release. We went to a skirmish. Yeah, we went to a skirmish, and they had like just received Riftbound product, and so they were handing out promos. And like, I bought a couple packs just for fun, and I have like some of the cool cards back here on a shelf that I got. There's one that looks like Dash. Looks pretty cool. It's hard not to understand why Cody talks so positively about Riftbound. Why is that, Arena? Hit me with it. Explain it to me. Big IP means people are just collecting the chases. There are also Riftbound decks, though, that are expensive. Like, what's the most expensive Riftbound deck? And most decks are rares and common. One Piece decks are like 14 to like 15 to 40. That is pretty cheap. Compendium of Wraith was my greatest disappointment with Fab reprints. Shelter and Balance almost not get any price reduction. I mean, yeah, Balance is... How much is Balance? How much is Balance of Justice right now? I haven't even looked in a while. Balance of Justice. Regular Balance of Justice is $100, $105. Compendium of Wraith balance, regular balance is $130, and then Compendium of Wraith Antiquity Pack balance is $200. I mean, pretty expensive. Pretty expensive. I played the game, and it's not hard to say that it's good despite being worse than Fab. Every TCG is, to be fair, but it was so easy to build a deck, and Tournament EV is insane. I mean, yeah, the metal cards are really cool. Like, I think that Flesh and Blood should lean into something like that. Shelter was a 1-year reprint, should not be moved to Legendary. I mean, it didn't move the needle at all. Flesh and Blood is definitely incomparable. I agree. Flesh and Blood is an amazing game at its core, and I genuinely believe it will stand the test of time. I am just waiting. Like, I just want LSS to fix a few things that bother me, but I just got my pre-order for Riftbound Proving Grounds. I paid $25 for it on pre-order. For a time, it was $250. Now it is back down. That's interesting. Oh, sure. Being 2 digits more expensive is it's a big problem. I agree. I 100% agree. I completely agree. Okay, well, it's about 10 o'clock. We don't really, like, let's talk about the impacts. All right. To this point, I have pretty much done nothing but talk about my frustrations with the ban article and everything else that is happening. Let's talk about how this affects CC. Passionate about improvement because you love it. Heck yes. Nick. Somebody kiss this guy for me. I love Nick Tucker. Let's go. You love to see it. Absolutely. It's 100% how I feel. Yeah, I like a good reprint system would be good for the game. 100%. My pre-order was placed in July of 25. It's been a year. Wait, what? $80 top Riftbound deck is a selling point that would get power crept out of the meta within 1 to 2 years. I mean, probably, Chow. Probably. So let's talk about how this actually affects Nationals and what we should be looking at. So based off of the cards that are banned, talking about, let's talk about like Swolio specifically. Acilio 1 is still real. I am 110% convinced. Channel Lightning Valley, Somersault, Volzar, all being gone. Acilio 1 is still a good deck. You got new cards from the set. You still have Crazy Gone into flash turns that you can do. You are just, like it said in the article, not doing 500 Arcane on one turn, which is normally the problem. I believe there is a world where you can use the instant that untaps your staff to probably like do Mind Warp shenanigans and like get a lot of value. But I think that Acilio is still a decent deck. The issue about it is that you are now forced to play taller arcane spells. You're forced to play things like Burn Bear. I'm trying to think. Like the 2-for-5 that like taps your hero to make a ponder is really good. The 1-for-4 tap it to get go again is really good. There are multiple things you can play that go over the top and do a lot of arcane damage. So I still think that Acilio 1 is very real. 110% believe that. Now, maybe other people have figured that out. Maybe this is a surprise to you. But 3 cards banned from Acilio is still going to be good. Victor. I do not see anything in this set that should scare Victor enough. You have tools into Ziggy. I know that there is Iris of Reality versions of the deck, and there are other things that you can be doing. I am wholeheartedly through and through convinced that Victor is still going to be very powerful. I also think that Mario is still going to be in a very good spot. My point to me saying all this is that I don't know if your top 3 decks change. Between the new set and some of the cards that were gone, I don't know if the top 3 decks change. Hell, I don't know if the top 5 decks change. I mean, Syndra has the same problems she's had. Except I think she's probably pretty good into all of the new heroes. If Syndra pairs into an Aurora, you have the Spell Void 1 dagger to prevent the quick strike effect. That is so powerful. Like the arcane damage never even hits you. And then you can block if you need to. Syndra is still a perfectly viable deck. Her problems are the fact that she gets dumpstered by not fatigue Victor, by normal clash Victor. Like not dumpstered, but she's unfavored. And that she also like can just get like rickrolled by Mario's value plan. Gravy Bones is on the outside looking in at like deck number 4 or number 5 in my opinion. I think there's a world where like Gravy Bones, I mean, the new gold or whatever it is, like, is fine. I don't think it's insane, but I think it's fine. There is a real world where like Gravy is still good. I think Gravy is still a perfectly fine pick for Nationals. If you looked at me and you said you were playing one of those 5 decks, I'd be like, man, okay, I'm here for that. There is a deck on the outside looking in. There are actually 2 decks on the outside looking in that I think are really strong and have really strong potential to affect the metagame. The first one, and please don't laugh at me, is Tekla-Vossen. I think that Tekla-Vossen has a pretty good shot of doing well at Nats. Like, you would not surprise me at all to see one in top 8. You would surprise me 0 to see a copy of Tekla-Vossen in top 8. Like, I think that deck has some pretty good tools. I think that with things being moved around, like Acilio not just blowing you up in one turn, I think there's a world where Tekla-Vossen actually has a pretty decent matchup spread. Now, as someone who likes to play Victor, it is really sad for me because I like hate that matchup. But as someone who's playing Betsy at Nationals, it's kind of okay, and I have some tech for it. So I think Tekla-Vossen is a better deck than most people realize. And the other deck that I think is on the outside looking in is Puffin. I think Puffin is in a real spot. The new 1-for-5 that gets a cog out of your deck is pretty much a must block at all time, because we are taking a card out of our deck that gains us an action point. It is really good. I think Puffin has a real shot to be relevant in the meta, and I don't think it's going to be Boost Puffin. I think it's going to be like Pirate Puffin is the version of Puffin that we might see have a breakout at Nats. I can see Puffin doing pretty well. Maybe I'm on a little bit of cope there, but I think Puffin sneaks into the top of some of the decks as like a pretty good place to be. New card's very strong. I agree. Mario does get a better matchup with Gravy in his new 1-card Chum Killer, though. Oh, you talking about the new ally killing thing? That card's insane. Like, it is insane. I completely agree, Rika. If you're playing Tekla and you are talking about like the Betsy matchup or like what works like into your quote unquote like bad matchups, it is very winnable. I don't know that you have any 0%ers as Tekla, which is kind of weird. Kind of weird. Are there any 0%ers? Maybe Mario is like freaking cursed. That matchup seems terrible. Like, I don't know. The other take that I have, and I have said this oddly, I've said this like a little bit in the past on a couple of streams, is that you would not have to twist my arm very hard at all to say that there will be an Aurora or two in the top 64 of Nationals. The reasoning that I think that is that I think there will be a soup version of the deck that makes its way into Nationals. I'm going to close this. We're not going to look at that picture anymore. Like the soup version of the deck was fine. Like it was playable on some level. But it wasn't awful. It wasn't unwinnable. Like the deck could do things and put games together. And if you are someone who has been working on Aurora and is continuing to work on Aurora, I can 100% see there being a world where like this soup version of the deck, you win some games against Mario, you dodge victors, and you just kind of run decks over. I also think there is a version of Aurora that is going to rely on like 12 to 15 pitch cards and like some 1-cost, 2-cost pitch outlets that plays Tempestuous Kiss and like Dashing Flash Foot and stuff like that. So I think Aurora has like a somewhat real chance to sneak into the meta. There will be, I am just going to say this now. There will be at least one, I'm going to say 1 to 2 Ziggy in day 2. And here's my reasoning. There will be Ziggy players who are playing Iris of Reality auras only. That is their entire game plan. I think that is going to be their plan, is to put shit into play and just play Titan's Fist with Go again, all game. They are going to catch people who are not prepared for it. They are going to catch people who are not ready for it. Though some of those people who show up playing lists like that will get dumpstered by Syndra and other aggro decks. There will be people who play against nothing but Guardians and these slower, grindier decks, and they will abuse them. Wholeheartedly believe that. There will be at least 1 or 2 Ziggies in day 2 off of the back of there being on like a weird build. I do not think a Frodius Ziggy is going to be good at US Nationals. I hope I'm wrong. I would really like for a Frodius to not be dead before it ever actually gets to see play. But I have not seen it yet. I keep seeing Refractor builds. I keep seeing Iris builds that do things. And I think Iris has the best potential to do something. Swolio 2 is really neat. I said this the other day, and I'm going to stand by this. Swolio is the hero from the set that I think has the highest ceiling of any of the 3 heroes that I've seen so far. And when I say that, I mean Acilio's ability to be very good in the metagame. I think there is a world where, not at US Nationals, I just don't think there'll be enough time to refine the list to make something work. But I think at Pro Tour Las Vegas, if there is not some crazy shakeup to the BNR, we could really see Acilio 2 put in some work. And I know everybody who is playing Acilio, everybody who is Acilio mains is telling me I'm crazy. I've heard it so many times. I've received so many messages. I think there's a real chance that Acilio 2 is going to do something is going to be good. So I think there's a real world where we could be looking at an Acilio 2 doing well. Now, will there be some in day 2? Maybe. There might be some in day 2. I don't know. The interesting thing about it is that some people will show up playing bad heroes, like me, playing Betsy, and they may do well in draft and go 3-2 in CC. That like they end up making day 2, but they like went 3-2 in CC, which I'm not saying is not impressive. Like I've been there. I've went 3-2 in CC and swept draft and been X-2 going into day 2. Like I get it. I'm just simply saying that I am not like, I think packing AB3 in a mid-range game plan for Acilio is a perfectly fine place to be. When I say, like, when you say Betsy is fine, I agree. I don't think Betsy is this god-awful hero. I'm just saying it from the perspective of, like, she's not one of the top 10, or, like, she's not one of the top 3 decks going into the weekend. Like, Betsy has some real game. Betsy is not a bad deck. Like, I don't think she's bad. She's just not Victor or Mario going into US Nationals weekend. But yeah, I mean, I think the deck is playable, like 100%. I've seen today an Aphrodia/Refractor switchboard made by the Fab Workshop, and it looked very interesting. Phantasmaclasm is still a card that needs to be respected. Oh yeah, Phantasmaclasm's crazy. There is a few really bad decks in CC at the moment. There are some, but there are few. I mean, yeah, I don't think that there are many decks that, like, if I said were really, like, I don't think there are many decks anymore that are, like, just completely unplayable. There was an Acilio 1 deck list that did well at the AGE Open that didn't have any lightning cards, and I think you could port it over into Acilio 2 and have 2 more life. I mean, that's fair, Z. I can see that. I can 100% see that. As much fun as playing Gravy sounds, no. Don't think so. Okay. We have talked about the meta. We have talked about the BNR. We have talked about all kinds of crazy things. How about we play some Betsy? I know I'd mentioned drafting, but it's 10 after 9. I don't think we have time to draft. So I think we're just going to fire up and play some Betsy. The one thing I will say about Betsy is that you all are about to have a chance to vote on my exact 80 tomorrow. I'm going to put a poll up in my Discord tomorrow morning where you, everybody, has a chance to vote between 5 deck lists. 80 cards. You get to pick my 80 between those 5 deck lists. One of them will be mine, that I have been working on this deck list. One of them came from the team Discord. One of them came from the Potato Squad Discord, group of buddies that I have. And then 2 of them came from the YouTube subs and members section of the Discord. So this is the deck. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time harping about it. I did make some changes to the sideboard. I did go down on Heart of Fandle and 1 Remembrance so that I could play 2 copies of Zealous Belting. I think having a lot of these 2-ofs in the sideboard has worked out really well. 3 copies of Oasis Respite has felt really clean. So we're gonna jump in and play some games. Let's see. I think I have log and loaded already saved. Future Classic Instructed. Yeah, shout out Potato Squad. Shout out Potato Squad. Yo, what is happening? Yeah, I had draft pulled up in case we drafted, but I yapped for too long about the the banned and restricted. Sorry, guys. I think we want to go first this matchup. Against Swolio, which is who we're playing out, Mr. Vader, Mr. Anderson. We're on 2 copies of Pummel, 3 copies of Oasis Respite, and we're on Riches with Tropodani in this matchup. And we're just going to play a clean 60. And we are on AB3 and Tunic. I know that being able to wager with the helmet has some pretty good potential upside. Betsy, and we are going first. Okay. The only D-React in this matchup is Shelter. We cut Sinks and Fates. I mean, I think we just have to filter this hand. It sucks, but... no, I do not want to wager a gold. Wow, that's tough. I think that attacking for 6 is better than just passing. It feels weird, but... We would have drawn a blue, which would have been good. I mean, if they don't do anything, which is highly unlikely, we can just juice them. We can juice them. Okay. We'll pitch Thunderquake. Aye, Alpha. I mean, we could AB 2 and take 4. And then swing the log. We could AB 3 and Arsenal bet big. I think this is fine. We'll just take 4. I mean, they can tap and make a ponder, which is unfortunate, but... Betsy cosplay win? I mean, you know. If we hit the goal over here somewhere, the goal on the far side, that's like, we'll do it at Nationals, but we, Carly and I may have ordered something fun Betsy related for me to wear on stream one night the other night. All right, now I will wager a gold. Now we will wager a gold. Double downs in Olympia will be cool. I agree. He means, oh, Carly said, oh, you're wearing this? Listen, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That is not what I said. I'm not saying that did not happen, but I'm saying I didn't say that. You do with that information what you will. All right, we're going to pitch a blue because that hand's going to be incredibly awkward when we come back around to it. Don't you want to keep the wagers for when you can throw overpower? I'm not exactly sure. Guess let's pitch the buckling blow. Not exactly sure what you mean, Top It. Why what? Guess we'll just go ahead and do this. A lot of arcane damage coming over the top so far. We want to get those 2 blues on the bottom. I think that's important. Then we're just going to come in for 7. Don't you want to wager only when you can pay the extra 2 to give her log overpower? Oh, why wager the gold? I'm wagering the gold because if Swolio wants to block with 2 cards on the log, then I'm okay with that. Like, that's perfectly fine with me. I want to have, like, the gold in place so that I can use it later to be able to, like, wager stuff. How have we drawn 2 all red hands in 3 turns? We're playing a clean 60, and we're just drawing all reds left and right. Actually kind of crazy. I mean, I guess we could have used Tunic there and then like thrown E-Strike, but I just don't think it's worth it. I just don't think throwing E-Strike is correct there. I think we're just supposed to try and sit on this and look for a good hand. Echo Flash. Okay. I mean, we're just going to pitch the Rouse the Ancients here, I think. I have a Ponder set up off the hero ability. We're going to use Tunic for the Echo Flash to pay 1. And then we'll see what they hit us with here. They're going to immediately draw a card. Okay. I know this is a lot, but I really want to wager and pummel this, so I think we're just going to take 4 and pass. Man, this game is not going very well for us so far. Yes, and I'm not going to pay. We're going to telegraph the pummel, but I need something to get me back into this game. I need something to get me back into this game. They're going to play Core Reaction, pitching 2 reds. Okay. So they have nothing to discard, but we do draw a card because of the wager. Hopefully it's something that we don't mind arsenaling. Blue Buckling Blow sucks. That is not what I had in mind. It's all right. It's all right. They are not going to arsenal that card. I will, however, arsenal this Terrace Under. Really? They still have something to do? Okay. Jesus. We're not going to arsenal this Terrace Under. Damn. We also have to be careful because Striders just like provides them the ability to have reach. Shoo. Wagering gold does not matter as much, no, but it does represent extra cards we can draw later in the game if we need to, Z. I wouldn't say it matters a ton, but it does come up every now and again. Skullcap needed is kind of feeling that way. It's kind of feeling that way. I mean, playing AB2 and Skullcap, like, could be fine, I guess, if we get behind early. Um... So let's AB3. We'll throw bet big for 8 and wager, and then we'll arsenal the Zealous Belting. They're going to immediately draw a card. I mean, I guess you could have drawn an instant, right? That could do something. I will wager this with them. I do not have the ability to pay, but setting up that Zealous Belting is going to be fine. And are we going to need Skullcap in this deck? I was really looking forward to playing my Cold Foil and Closed Firemind. I won't lie. I was really looking forward to playing that. If they actually E8 here, I'm going to be freaking terrified. Okay. So Plutonic Starplate makes a resource. They're going to do a bunch of instant speed shenanigans here. Flashbolt for a Ponder. So this is going to be 4. All right, so they're doing nothing on their turn but the core reaction. So we go to 14. They're going to go to 19. We are slowly catching them. We just need this hand to have like 3 blues in it. Please and thank you. I mean, I did say 3 blues, didn't I? Damn, bro. Like, this is kind of insane. I could have discarded this, for God's sakes. I mean, I guess I still can. I should, right? I did not think there was going to be another spell after this. And then we get to pitch Buckling Blow and then attack them for 7. Bro, we are getting juice this game. I think our Acilio opponent, like, this might be the best Acilio I've played against so far. So this is telling me that I'm not as prepared for this moment as I thought I was, which is good to know. Just wait till you see. Oh, dude. God, please. God, please don't vote for their deck. I'm going to be honest. If you guys, like, if everybody just doesn't, like, vote for my deck, like, you've already stuck me with Betsy. If I can't at least play a real hero, I'm going to be, if I can't at least play, like, a real version of the deck, I'm going to be so sad. They are on CNCs. Chromatic Reinforcement has actually been so good this game. I've been really impressed with this. It is, in fact, on double downs. I need to win World, so I have to win Nats on Betsy. Okay. Create 2 Ponders. Draw a card. I mean, if I could go Zealous Belting into CNC here. So how are you paying for this? So it's just Comet Storm. So it's coming in for 6. Okay, so play Oasis Respite. Pitching this, Respite myself. Go to 14. Target the Comet Storm. And then it's going to be AB2. We're basically going to leak nothing is the idea. Okay, this is an interesting decision. I'm going to crack a gold because if we hit a blue with like 6 or more, we can go Zealous Belting into Command and Conquer here, which I think is really good. Yeah, the aura reduction from the previous turn is really good. Okay, so they're going to go to 13, make a Lightning Flow, which just makes sense. And then Command and Conquer. It's going to be hopefully good disruption. We'll see. Hopefully it's going to be good disruption. Okay, they're just going to go to 7 and then lose their Command and Conquer. All right. long as we don't draw garbage the rest of the way, we're in an okay spot. Create a lightning flow. And this deals an arcane damage. I mean, let's just pitch the bet big. Like, we can just pitch the bet big, stay at 10, and then we can come in for 7 overpower. Can we die from 10? Like, what is the reasonable kill range here at instant speed? God, Echo Flash is so good. What is the reasonable kill range here? Flash Bolt? They have to be able to kill us from 10, right? Like, it just seems very reasonable that they could kill us from 10. Are we at a point in the game where we have to decide? I think we should wager a gold and not pay. I think attacking for 6 is fine here. I mean, Swolio seems like it could kill from, like, probably, like, what, 12? 12 seems to be, like, the world that I'm living in my head. Like, even if our opponent was just trying to, like, bait us into doing something dumb here. I mean, the thing that I'm thinking of is Flash Bolt. This is 3. Like, if you have that and, like, an untapped staff thing. Like, see, there's the Flash Bolt. So they're going to get a gold. They're going to Flash Bolt us for 4. I'm going to use Tunic so that we can prevent 3. We go to 9. The Star Plate lets them draw a card. Yeah, I think we're at a point every turn where now we need to keep the resources floating. Okay, so they get a gold, which is fine. They just pass. I think we're going to pitch Riches to draw a card. I want to see what they do. Now I want to see how they block. Is there a world where you should have gambled drawing a card for an Arsenal this turn? I mean, there's probably an argument for it. I'm debating if we should look for an Arsenal this turn or if we should just Arsenal the Rouse and throw 6. Like, I don't know if I want to use all of my gold here. I feel like it's a little too early. I know, only drawing 1 card off of Riches feels so bad. We're going to pitch this and have 2 floating. Cosmic Suture. And then Echo Flash cost 1. So they're going to take nothing and have 2 prevention floating here. They're going to go to 3. We get a gold. And they have nothing to do unless their card in their arsenal is pretty solid. Cosmic Flare says gain 3 resources. They're going to draw a card with the gold and see if they can do something. Draw a card off the Ponder. Sure. So 2 cards in hand, nothing floating now. Cosmic Flare turned into a pretty good card right there. I know. I wish it was Pot of Greed in this deck. I really do wish it was. Is there a world we can close the game? Feels like there is 110% a world where like this just closes the game. We can discard Shelter to prevent 3 or to prevent 3 instances of 1. And then we have CNC to pitch. Last Static Shelter plus Cosmic Suture would also be obnoxious. Pitch a blue, activate a Swolio, discard Cosmic Suture. Because I'm pretty sure they've only played 2 so far. Core Reaction. Okay. Sure. So discard this. Pitch to 1. We stay at 9. Can I get you to play a game against my aggro Aurora? Probably not tonight. This might be the last game of the night. I know it's also the first game of the night, but it's probably going to be the last game of the night just because I have plans after the stream. But I can do that this weekend, Damien, if you're around. We unfortunately cannot CNC for 7 because I do not play Chapeau in this matchup. Let's see what they do. This requires them to block, right? Yes, I do in fact have plans after the stream this evening. I do. I know it sounds crazy, but even I have a social life. Yeah, we're going to name Go again because we have Tunic to send this for 6. That does sound like something Trent would say. You've nearly unintentionally fatigued them. I mean, if we can get back around to those Oasis Respites, we might fatigue them. That hand's going to suck. That's so true. That's so true, Sprite. I have a parasocial life, very much so. I'm reminded of that when I go to events. So I'm imagining that if they go to 1 here, they have to have a way to kill me. But they're not going to go to 1. Interesting. So this is going to deal 4. So if I take 4... and attack them for 6, There's one more Sigil of Solace left in their deck. So I actually don't think this is correct. I think we're just supposed to do this. Like, we can just stay at 7, let this happen. We're playing to getting back around to the Oasis Respites, which I did put 2 of them together. It's turn 12. It's 12. It's turn 13. Next turn, we're going to crack gold to try and draw into those. We want to play Terrace Under here. I don't think so, right? We just want to overpower this and then just like hold resources in our hand and force them to kill us through AB5 and AB2. Yo, what's up, Tiny Hands? Yes, we are in fact log gaming. I spent most of the evening talking about the BNR and stuff like that, and so I wanted to play a Betsy game to round out the night. The 2 reds at the end is tough. We are going to have to use our... Oh, we just win? Nice, 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 nice. So... Ooh, I was off. They were going to be in the next hand, so I was going to Arsenal the Command and Conquer, and then I would have drawn these 3 cards. So my hand would have been 2 blues, double down Oasis Respite. Interesting. I just assumed that their arsenal was the... Can I show Swolio's grave? Sure. This card was actually really good. The chromatic reinforcement was a lot better than I thought it was going to be for them. They were on a very interesting deck, and it put a lot of pressure on us. The thing that's most interesting about this is that we won this game, and we only played 1 copy of Oasis Respite the entire game. We were just on AB3 and like log pressure. Put 2 Respites on the bottom, turn 0 with all reds. Ended up getting them with overpower. Might have fatigued them by just playing the game. Was not my intention. All right, well, we add another win to the old Betsy column. You'll love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Oh, was it Yudo's list? I honestly don't know. With the E-Strike and the Crowded? Played way too much on your turn when you were low. I mean, that's fair. They did play a lot on my turn, which I did think was interesting. Guys, don't forget tomorrow, Ziggy Armory deck upgrade coming to you tomorrow. For members, it'll come out in the morning. For everybody else, it'll come out at lunchtime. Also, we are going to be voting on my Betsy 80 card list. That is going to be something you're going to get to do. You have 5 decks to pick from. One of them is completely troll. The other 4, the other 3, 2 of them are very troll. 3 of them are somewhat reasonable. Mine is going to be in there. 1 from the Team Breakpoint's going to be in there. 1 from Team Potato Squad. And 2, the last 2, are going to come from the YouTube members and Twitch subscriber section of the Discord. So make sure you check out that poll. I will at everyone. I'm sorry. I know y'all don't like that, but it's important. This has been a lot of fun, so it's important. I'm going to make one last plea. Please pick my deck. I would like to play my list. I've actually spent a lot of time working on it, so I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, I play game and win. That's right. Tell them, Ross. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, Saturday night, got a special stream for you. And yes, I did say Saturday night. That is going to be Saturday night. We're going to have a fun stream for you. Tough Nut going to be in the house with Spencer, a.k.a. Boosting Spin Dogs. So make sure you check that out. And I'll see you guys this weekend. Take it easy, guys.